couple of viewers. Who can you tag yourselves, guys, so I can see who's on? I think there's a couple of viewers there. Mind, I'm just learning about this. I'm just going to do a live about the epidemic, the suicide epidemic, what I talk about a lot on Facebook, and I'm trying to transition here. Glenn, hi, and thanks for saying you like my mountain stuff. I do put a lot of that in my channel, guys, about my climbing and my exploits in the hills, and that is, you know, the basis of what I enjoy. But tonight I want to talk about something because I had a conversation today, and yeah, Vince Totties, you're right. The suicide epidemic that's going on just now in Scotland is off the scale. The numbers are not accurate. Across the different databases, the numbers are shocking. And sadly, yesterday I was informed of a guy that was in the services a long time and was in while I was in, and I knew him. And he's just coming up on 27 years service in the Royal Marines from his youth, from he was 16. And he was due out into civilian life this month. And he's took his life 2 days ago. And you know, he's a father, he's a husband. He climbed to the rank of, I believe, Sergeant Major. And you wouldn't find a man alive that would say a bad word about him. And hi, Luca. You wouldn't find a guy alive that would have a bad word to say about this fella. He's from down south, and you know, a real stalwart in the Royal Marines, a really top bloke. And one of my mates that I served with, my mate Simo, he had posted it in his page. I was absolutely shocked. This guy served 27 years, consecutive service, exemplary service. And he was due to be a civilian this month, perhaps in the next couple of weeks, and he's took his life. I can't believe it. Can't honestly believe it. I'm always shocked because I know what these guys have given, and to give that length of time, and whatever it is that's triggered them, maybe it's their life of being in the services and coming out to face civilian life and the uncertainty. Something is triggered with this guy, and it's had catastrophic consequences. I also see another boy, a boy from Ayrshire, another good lad from Ayrshire has taken his life. A boy I knew from the fishing was buried last week, you know, in his late 30s. And again, a father, a husband, shocked everybody, well known in the fishing community, and by all accounts, by everybody that knew him, again, a lovely guy, and nobody could see it coming. Evening, Albert. Nobody can see this coming, guys, and I don't want to, this is unprepared, because this is going round and round my head just now, and I just want to let you know that when I transition my Facebook stuff to this channel, this is a big part of my Facebook. For anyone that doesn't have me on Facebook, my name's Alex Kearney on it, and my second name's spelt C-A-I-R-N-I-E, and you'll find me on it. I've got two profiles. I've got my personal and I've got a public profile, a public figure page. It's on my personal profile, but it's normally maxed out with friends requests, so if I can't add you, it's not personal. You know, there is sometimes space, and some people remove themselves, or some folk lose their Facebooks, so you get 4 or 5 spaces. But I talk a lot about it, and I do lives on there. about, you know, the failure with the GPs, the failure to recognise, the failure to correctly categorise, the failure to correctly administer serotonin inhibitors and stuff like that. And I'm very, very passionate about changing the system. But you can't, I'm only one voice, you can't do it on your own. However, you can make enough noise that people do take notice. And as if you can build a community, you can definitely be noticed. I'm appalled at the number of suicides in men and women in Scotland and the UK throughout. In Scotland, the numbers are off the scale. In the Central Belt, in Ayrshire, you know, South Ayrshire, in the kind of less notable, you know, the working class communities, these old mining communities, old tin communities, and, you know, down in Ayrshire where there's very little industry these days and there's massive unemployment. There are huge problems with alcohol and substance and prescription drug abuse. I've spoke extensively about the gabapentin and pregabalin epidemic, pre-gabs as they're known as, and how people are willy-nilly, you know, selling them and giving them to young people and giving them out like sweets. And yeah, Flash, it has risen. It's risen on a industrial scale. And by the way, Flash, you're 100% spot on. They are not publicising the accurate numbers, because they're writing things like, you know, death by misadventure, or, you know, don't quote me, but they're right that it's just not accurate information. Why is it not in a newspaper? Why is it not in a news channel? Why is it not being discussed in Parliament? If it's been discussed in Parliament, it's being discussed behind closed doors. I don't believe a word that comes out of a politician's mouth. They're all liars. Right, there you go. I've been able to turn on the comments. Sorry guys, I couldn't see. Hi Donna, hi Glenn, hi Mince and Totties, hi Zeus, Scott, Luca. Barry, thanks for your comments, Barry Thompson. Jane, Albert Steptoe, Opinionated Glaswegian. How you doing, buddy? Yep. Flash, Sam, evening Sam. Yep, it's R McKenna in the East End. I'm in the East End right now, buddy. That's where I'm sat as we speak. Sorry, my comments keep disappearing. Lucas saying his mate lost his younger brother in Ayrshire last week. He was 26. I think I heard about this, Luca. I'm quite sure I did. Rings a bell. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. But see, if we only just keep talking about it, we won't get anywhere, guys. We have to do things collectively as a community. We have to build a movement of people that Parliament is in place to represent us and put in place our wishes. So if people wish for change to systems, it is up to us to orchestrate that, and it's up to Parliament to put it in. They're currently only doing their own agenda, pushing their own unscrupulous agendas, and I see very little care for the mental health. Vincent Totties is saying no jobs equals more suicides and substance abuse. I absolutely believe that you're on the money there. The fact that Scotland in general has sold its soul to the devil and sold off our industry, you know, everything, all our jobs are sold off. There's a company that's recently binned all its employees, and they're going to employ an Indian agency to actually ship Indian personnel here so they can pay them £1 or £2 an hour. That's not lawful, it's not legal. But our government twist the rules to suit, especially with big corporation. Big corporation set the rules themselves. They don't fear reprisal. They don't fear anything really, because they're all in bed together. And the very thing they don't care about is people. the working classes. They don't care about us. We are fodder to feed the system. That's all we are. If you think you're anything more than that, I'm sorry to inform you that you're wrong. You are a number. You have a unique identification code against your name, and you are on the tariff feeding into the system. That's all you are. They can put a line through your name anytime they want. They've mastered the art of division, dividing people through religion, through football, through all the bullshit of the day that's irrelevant, because, you know, we would all run out in the streets and help one another should we have to. If a bloody meteorite landed in your house, you'd be out helping your neighbours the same, regardless of what football scarf they wore, because that's what Scottish people do. Scottish people help each other. Sam, I'm laughing at your comments there. Guys, it's a serious subject, and I will advertise when I'm going to do what I've been doing on Facebook. Is I bring guests on, usually on a Thursday night, and we have a one-on-one, and we do it live. I want to start doing it on YouTube, because I believe I'm being watered down on Facebook and I'm being shadow banned. Well, I know I am. I have guys that do it for a living and they tell me. I'm very passionate about this. Suicide's affected me greatly. I've buried a lot of my mates, seen a lot of, you know, fantastic men and females lose their lives to this. And the rise in female suicide is terrifying. It's a horrific enough event for a man to end his life like this. But when females are doing it as well the same way, that's, to me as a man, that's, I don't know why, but it somehow even seems even worse. Sean. Sean, I'm actually not political, mate. I think they're all equally as crap as one another, and they misrepresent us massively. And you know, Scotland are globally recognised as being good people. The Scottish are liked all over the world. They're good people. And I think that we're really badly represented. I'm interested about the world scene and what business we're doing with here, there and everywhere. I'm interested in slowing down the speed of these rising epidemics of abuse, social injustices and social deprivation, and the fact that people are relying on food banks to feed their children, and that all this adds to poor mental health and low esteem, and ultimately suicide very apparently is becoming more and more the outcome of low esteem and low low employment, and the fact that people can't earn, and men that lose their pride because they can't put a wage into the house, they can't treat their kids, they can't treat their missus, they can't buy their kids some stuff, they can't run a car, they can't have the things that perhaps they were once accustomed to. It's detrimental to their personality, it's detrimental to their pride. You know, they get self-conscious and they fall into this mire, this pit, this quicksand, and they end up, you know, in it up to their necks, and they can't find a way out. And, you know, how can suicide be an option for young people in their teens and their 20s and their 30s when you've got your life ahead of you and you don't know what day it can change? I've experienced the suicidal thoughts. I've experienced the lows. I've experienced the highs. I've experienced the mania of being in the doldrums and being lost. It is a jungle. It's a black forest. It's oblivion when you are at your lowest, and it doesn't matter what things you have in life. Nothing works. Nothing works for you, and you feel lost. You feel lost in the woods, and nobody can reach out to you. It's just a very, very lonely, fragile place to be. And there's so many people there. You know, I've developed the tools to weather the storm because I've had to. Yeah, Flash. I agree. As I said, I had to develop the tools in order to develop myself. There is a lot of scaremongering and there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of people have got theories, but people are waking up. And when you look at the money that's thrown and the funds and the assets that are thrown at stuff, we can send aid to every country under the sun, but we can't fix the problems on our own doorstep. I truly, genuinely, in my heart and in my whole, as a fairly well-educated guy, I believe that our governments do not care a single thing about the young people in this country or their future, because they've sold off all their assets, so we don't have anything left for them to look forward to. Yep, Albert, you're right. We offer aid and we offer shelter and sanctuary to people running from, asylum and all sorts of things and civil war and stuff, and I understand it. But we're a tiny postage stamp of an island. And if you even have an opinion now when people coming into this country, you're labelled as a racist, which is a ridiculous word. And it's not a word I want to have in my vocabulary, because I don't recognise it anymore. Because there are so many cultures of people in this country that, this is not a white Caucasian country. Scotland's had a gigantic Asian, Chinese, Korean, Indian and Pakistani influence for decades, over 100 years. The Italians that came to Scotland and, benefited the country, and, the ice cream scene, the coffee shop scene, and the Indians, the Asians with their food and with their restaurant tours and their entrepreneurship. And they benefited this country greatly, and they stood side by side the British during the wars and all those, It's ridiculous for people now to be pointing fingers at folk and all the rest of it, and, marginalise, and the whole race thing's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If there's an agenda that can put someone up on a pedestal or feed their narrative or massage their ego, that's the one that they follow. Let's talk about suicide. Let's talk about young people taking their lives at 19 and 20 and 17, and let's talk about 12-year-olds that are self-harming in schools. In my day, that was unheard of, right? I'm 45 in a couple of months. Now we've got children sitting in schools self-harming, and we've got channels and we've got creeps on channels that are targeting young kids through apps, telling children how to commit suicide. These people should be put against a wall and shot. I'm Old Testament, guys. For anybody that doesn't personally know me, a couple of you on here do. Henry Cooper, how you doing, mate? A couple of people know me personally. They know that I'm Old Testament. Old Testament means if you're a sex offender or you're a child abuser, you should hang. If you're a rapist, you should hang. That's what Old Testament means. I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed an opinion like that now. I'm classed as a dinosaur. My rhetoric is observed and seen by, my alleged peers that I'm some type of maniac from the Dark Ages. I'm happy to be a maniac from the Dark Ages. If anybody interfered with my children, I'd put a rope round their neck and I'd throw them over the nearest bridge. I don't have any problem saying that. And that wouldn't be idle chat either. The problem is we're far too soft. These serial offenders that we're seeing with the protection groups like Fleetwood Protection and stuff like that on Facebook every day, they're catching a dozen men a day using apps to target 12, 10-year-old girls and meet them and take them to hotels and stuff. Guys at 60, guys at 40, guys that are putting us normal, living normal thinking guys in a bad light. they're allowed 3 or 4 offences, 3 or 4 strikes before they actually get a custodial. And even at that, they've literally got to bloody, you know, beg for a custodial because the judges are letting them walk out the door. I've seen one recently with 50,000 images of a child rape, and he got a suspended sentence. You know, I think a bullet costs about 60 pence. My justice would be very different to that because, as I say, I'm Old Testament. Eye for an eye. That's it. So we've got a lot to work on. I'm going to be bringing some. I'll always try and bring upbeat content with my climbing and my adventures. But there's a reason behind me going into the hills, guys. That's my medicine, and it's apparently good medicine for the viewers as well because people love seeing it. And if I can continue to provide good images, and Charlie Fleeting, yep. Sorry to hear that, Charlie. Yep, I picked up on you saying that. My heart goes out to you, mate. Yeah. Tragic, Charlie. Really, my heart goes out to you, mate. I'm a father myself. Parents' worst nightmare. Don't know how you come back from it, mate. We'll get a catch up one day soon, Charlie. I'm sure we'll have that coffee, we'll have that chat, mate. As I was saying there, guys, I try and provide the visual, the photographs, the videos, and I do quite well. But I get a good response, I get good feedback. I'm not bad with an iPhone camera. I can't work a normal camera because I'm a tech biff. With an iPhone, it's just one button, point and shoot. And I've got a good eye for detail. I know where to look, and I know what I see. I can see it coming. I can spot a sunset or a landscape a mile away. So I'll keep doing these things and try and bring in upbeat stuff, but sometimes my videos can take a wee dark turn, guys. And some days I get up and all I want to talk about is the dark matter. You know, because as much as I want to, you know, help people and bring a bit of light to folks' lives, that black mass is out there. It's all around us and it's affecting everybody. It's like a cancer. It affects every household. Suicide, depression, all of these things are chapping at somebody's door. That's why we have to kind of have more understanding of one another, and we probably don't. A lot of people are kind of, how can I say it without saying it, self-centered. But you're awake, you never go back. I applaud you, Brad, 100%. I've been awoken for a long time, I'm happy to say. Trigger warnings needed sometimes. Selena, yeah, guys, see if I ever say anything, by the way, and it does trigger, you know, I've seen that a few times, trigger warnings. I don't know, Selena, if you're saying I should put them on my videos or give a little pre-warning to what I'm going to discuss. I take that on board, Selena. And if I do trigger anybody, I apologise in advance. But one thing I don't do, I don't sit in the fence, ever. The reason is, we have to talk about it. We have to take the bull by the horns, guys. We can't beat about the bush here. I've got Charlie on here just now who's lost a son to suicide. Charlie understands I have to speak openly about this. You know, I cut my own mate down in his garage, you know, not that long ago, at 31 years of age. It's a horrible subject, but we have to talk about it, guys. We have to be abrupt. We have to... We're always thinking about one another, and I know there's people on my lives that follow this. And I probably will trigger somebody sooner or later, and I may upset somebody, but it's never intended, and I would never intentionally set out to upset someone, but it has to be said. Triggers are nudges and mirrors that need working. Yep. Yeah. So that's all I'll say about that, guys. I never set out to upset. Yes, Selena, my pal Martin was 31, father of 3. His youngest was about 8 or 9 months old. Luca's on the chat. He was a great friend of Luca's as well. Me and Luca carried his coffin together. A very, very, very horrible event in both our lives. Martin was a great guy, funny guy. And me and Luca have formed a great friendship through that. Sadly, we formed the friendship through having to carry Martin's coffin. And that was... There's not much you can say about that. You know, I see Martin's children regular. His partner's a great friend of mine. And she's doing her best. Because suicide is so permanent. There is no way back, guys. Yep, one of the best. Luca, you're right. He was some boy, man. Jeez, oh, I could bloody bust him some days, but he just made me laugh. He was that kind of guy. So aye, it's a horrible subject. Sorry, somebody's trying to phone me. They better not phone back. We need to talk about it. And you can't shy away from it because it's everywhere. So that's what we'll do. You know, every third or fourth video I will go towards this subject. I'll post a lot of good upbeat content, but yous will all get to know me, and you'll get to know what drives me. I'm driven by results. I'm driven by pursuing results and change. I've got no interest in you know, status or any bullshit. I don't give a shit about it. I'm interested in results. I'm interested in pursuing change. I'm interested in restructuring the system that's failing so many men and women. This system of keeping people on serotonin inhibitors and antidepressants and mind-bending drugs and painkillers for 20 years without pursuing an answer or a resolution. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's a mad woman here chasing a dog or a cat round the car. So it's ridiculous, guys. The GPs are part of the problem with the big pharma. Not all GPs, but there's a problem. They are sales reps for the big pharma companies. I absolutely believe it. I don't believe a word that comes out any person's mouth that is on the merry-go-round with the big corporations, the big pharma, the big tech. I don't believe a word. I don't believe there's good in any of them. They're all on the gravy train. They've got their noses in the trough purely for personal financial gain, feathering their own companies. The pharmaceutical companies are shameless. I mean, you know, there's 1,000 line items now for bloody nasal spray and lip balm. You know, in the old days it was Vaseline. Now there's 1,000 different brands. They create ailments to create answers. So they not only sell the problem, guys, they also sell the answer. If a salesman comes to you, mince and totties, the methadone programme is a joke. You're right, my mate's been on it for 35 years and I've never tried to take him off it. 35 years on methadone. It's a feeding programme. I'll not even start on methadone. When a salesman comes to you and they are selling you the problem, and then on the other hand they're selling you the answer, he's not a salesman, he's a charlatan and he's a fraudster. Be careful who you let in. I'm not fooled, guys. Over the next few months I hope he's get to kind of, although you'll probably not personally meet me, get to kind of know me and know that I'm a very difficult person to fool. I've been around human nature for a long time, and I understand people and I understand their traits and I understand the bullshit that's going on and the bullshit that's been fed to people. You see, I was once part of the mechanism. I was once part of the machine when I was in the military. And I know the lies that get told, and I know the deception that's used, and I know the coercion that's used. And it's just ridiculous. Thankfully, I've got years under my belt now and a little bit of clarity, where I've managed to clean all the shit out of my head, because I don't drink, I don't take drugs. So I've managed to clean all the crap out of my head. I don't own a television, I don't watch television. So I've been able to fulfill my own headspace with researched fact and, you know, a broad spectrum of reading material, and I look at everything with a fair unbiased mindset, and I make my own mind up by trial and error. I go and take a look, I dip my toes in, and that's what I do. You won't tell me something and walk away and I'll believe it and start preaching it. I'll go and look and I'll go and find out and I'll go and research and I'll do my own digging. No one has to tell me anything. I will dig. That's what I do. I'll dig and I'll dig and I'll dig. And I'm happy with the way that I approach information. I'm happy with where I'm at. There's so much misinformation and bullshit being forced down people's throats that, you know, a lot of people need to wake up and stop believing this. Stop believing the crap. They are all in it together. They're all feeding from the same trough. You know, it's all one big circle. It's just a machine. It's all the same machine. They feed one another, and if you're not in the club, then you don't get in the club. That's why I truly believe that the amount of pharmaceuticals being dished out on a daily basis is absolutely off the scale. And what chance have people got when the GPs are forcing it down their necks? The antidepressant, the saturation of society with antidepressants is unprecedented. It is on an industrial scale, as is the suicide numbers. As long as I breathe, then I can fight. As long as I can fight, then I can be heard. As long as I can be heard, I can make a change. I don't fear reprisal, guys. I don't fear any type of reprisal. I have no fear of authority. I have no fear of finger pointing and finger wagging and gossip and slander. I don't have any fear of that. All the horrible things that will ever be said about me have been said about me, and they meant nothing to me then and they mean nothing to me now. I don't fear opinion. I don't need my massage and my ego, I don't need my ego massaged, and I don't need, you know, anything else massaged. I don't need to be told, oh, you're good, you're this, you're that. It's irrelevant. I'm just delivering the message. It's not about me. I'm just the messenger. And if I can ruffle feathers and make change and educate and deliver information to people, then that's what I plan to do. I have a moral obligation to do it, and so does everybody that watches these videos. Even if you contribute 1%, Henry Cooper, Alex, do you suffer mental health yourself? Henry, I'm a diagnosed manic depressive. I've had time in the Priory. I've had a suicide attempt. I have had the darkest depressions, darker than I ever want to experience again. And I'm in a very good place just now, Henry. Thanks for asking. I'm in a very good place just now. I'm physically strong to Teesside, I'd love to know how you built up to living completely without fear. Is everyone has to fear one thing? Teesside, I've developed the tools to overcome fear because I learnt to understand what fear is. Fear is a tool, it's an indoctrination, it's a lie. Fear is a lie. Every emotion we experience, I believe, is the same. Going on a date, nervousness, the first time you kiss a girl, you know, first time you ride a motorbike, first time you climb a mountain, first time you go on a rope swing, first time you jump off a wall. I believe there is one release, but we are conditioned to call it different things. So in my own world, I understand it and I've conquered it, I've removed it. It's not something I suffer. There is consequence. You know, if your child's injured or something like that, then you will have a way of perceiving that, and you could say, I'm fearful of that. But the fear I'm talking about is the one that's rammed down your neck from the day you walk into school, from the day you walk into nursery. Don't touch that, don't run, don't slide, don't shout, you know, don't go near that, don't go near this, don't touch the telly, don't touch the fire, don't touch the kettle. All of these things are conditioning tools in the classroom. You're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. You know, you've got to sing because everybody else is singing. I don't want to sing. You've got to sing, right? Everything is about conditioning you. The education system's a lie. They've been lying for decades, feeding the same narrative to millions of people expecting the same result. We're all different. I couldn't understand a blackboard because I've got an auditory processing disorder, and they missed it. So when the teacher put the duster through the question, it was already gone out of my mind. My short-term memory is non-existent. But it never affected me in life. I've travelled around the world worked in some of the biggest projects in the world with the oil industry. So, yeah, fear is a lie. Fear is a big lie. It's the biggest lie being told. It's a sleight of hand. And anyone anyone I believe can develop the tools to overcome fear without sounding weird, but you do have sorry. I'm trying to work out how to keep the comments up, guys. They keep vanishing. Without sounding weird, you do have a soothing voice, but I believe in every word you're saying. For me, you're a big help with my mental health since I lost my dad. Thank you very much for that comment, guys. Thank you. I'm just learning this, remember. Master Right. Master Right, if you struggle to talk about your feelings directly or to somebody's face, maybe you can talk in the comments and the guys will show you support. This is a community, it's not just me that's talking here. Yeah, somebody's saying about, was it the Priory? Yeah, I've been in the Priory, the fancy one. Although I wasn't aware what I was getting into at the time, it was recommended to me. It's expensive, absolutely it is. But I met a guy in there, we're still in touch to this day, a well-known businessman, I won't name him. He goes in every few months for respite, and we had a great time, you know, conversing with one another. He said he saw a lot of himself in me when he was younger, and I'm very driven, guys. I've got a very high drive, and it's unusual, my drive. And I've got a very, very complex mindset, and I've got a complex way of doing things. I'm a complex person. I don't have any problem admitting that. And, you know, I put myself under the cosh a lot. And I seem to like, or not like's the wrong word, I seem to thrive under pressure. Pressure never broke me. I broke me. I broke me by allowing the darkness in, taking my eye off the ball, and being a lesser version of myself. So, yeah, I broke me. because nothing physical ever broke me, and you know, nothing outwardly, like, you know, setting yourself targets and stuff. You just get into a rut sometimes, and you can be surrounded by the high functioning. Patsy, you better believe I'm high functioning. I'm a nightmare, Patsy, you know, and when I'm caffeinated I'm an even bigger nightmare. So, and Big Luca that's on the chat is very relaxed, very calm kind of big guy. We're poles apart, me and Luca, but we're very, very similar in mindset. We think the same. So, aye, high functioning. Yeah, certain people might say I'm on the spectrum. I don't have any problem with that at all. Coffee is good for you, Craig. Aye, I'm probably mad. I'm probably classed as a wee bit mad, but mad in the right way. Mad in the right way. I don't suffer fools, and I don't sit in the fence. And if you poke me with a stick enough times, I will bite. I don't like people that take liberties. I don't like it. It doesn't appeal to me. There's a lot of bad people out there, but good always wins. Good always beats evil. So aye, as I say, guys, I'm still learning with the live stuff. Glasgow mad. Aye, Zoo Scott. Yep, Glasgow mad. I'm still learning, guys, with the comments. They keep disappearing, but I'll work it out. I'll work it out as I go. T-side, where is my enhanced T? Yeah, no problem at all with that, brother. That's somebody commenting there in regards to an online thing that's going on YouTube just now, where several channels are targeting one channel because we believe that this individual has got a sinister history. There's a thing called an ACRO. It's a enhanced record of interactions with the police. So I was one of the advocates that if we have a YouTube channel and you have a subscription, we should all, sorry for changing the subject, but he's commented, so I'll respond. We should all post our information as the pinned post on our YouTube channel. So it's called an ACRO, comes from the ACRO office, and you get the full level one, which is every interaction you've ever had with a police station or the law. And that tells if you're a abuser of women or kids, or you've got bad intentions. And the police will have files on everybody, all guys, everybody, like us. I've been arrested, I've had fights, I've had stuff like that, and you know, been lifted for fighting and stuff like that in pubs and just daft stuff when I was young. And the police will have a file on you, and they'll say you're this type of person. So I can't mind who just said that there. Is it Townsend or Wallsend or something? I will happily apply for my full disclosure. As a YouTuber with a subscription approaching 5,000, I will happily get mine. I think it takes a couple of weeks tops, and I'll post it as my pinned post. I think a few of the other guys, Steve Wraith, I think they've done it. Somebody else who's done it. Who else has done it? A few of them have done it, and their channels are much bigger than mine. But I have openly said, if you are conversing with people on YouTube and you have a subscription, however small, you should tell your followers who you are. So I'm happy with that. YouTube is terrible for background checks. You're totally right, Selena, 100% agree with you. So I'll get mine, guys. It's called an ACRO, and also he mentioned an enhanced DBS. I think that's lesser than the ACRO, but I'm happy to apply for both of them, regardless of the cost, and post them up, so you know who I am, and they'll be posted fully, not edited like someone else's. I won't name them, won't name names, not interested. You know, because the proof will be in the pudding with that individual. So, happy to do it, and thanks for bringing it up, by the way, and I hope it was intended well. I hope it wasn't mentioned, you know, as a wind-up or spitefully, because I'll happily do it anyway, and I think all YouTubers should be doing it. So, was it Teesside? I think it might have been you, Teesside 420, that's asked for that, so cheers, mate. I'll apply for mine. I'll do it on Monday, and I'll get it up. Happy to do it. Said in jest, Teesside, no problem, mate. Still happy to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. We should all be doing it, because I want you to know who I am, that I'm a decent guy, that I wouldn't be bad to a partner, and you know, I think I speak for myself anyway, and my history speaks for itself in my regards to anybody that interferes with children. I've been very vocal and very open about what I do with people like that, happily. So aye, no problem, consider it done. To get back on track, yep, so my channel will grow hopefully, and hopefully some of you will stay along for the journey. And I've enjoyed the feedback tonight, I've enjoyed the comments, although they keep vanishing, I am learning. You hit live chat and I think I'm an open book, Flash, and I intend to be fully an open book. Yes, Selena, I know James English, I know him. Did a podcast with James English. For anybody that doesn't know that, you can Google my name next to James English's and the podcast will come up. And that was me exposing, you know, child traffic. So I'm happy to do it, guys, and I'm an open book. I'll tell anybody any history about them. You know, past relationship, anything at all. Don't have a problem talking about any aspect of my life. I'm protective in regards to my children, that's for obvious reasons. But anything else, ask me. Happy to talk. Pethidine for 15 years, constantly in and out of hospital with stomach pain, took them. I think there's a lot of alternative therapies, Henry. You know, a lot of people are on the CBD oil and stuff like that, and I won't advocate for anything because I don't understand it enough. However, I do have friends that take it and use it, and they absolutely swear on their lives that it has changed their lives. That, you know, to the point where they're telling me it's cured 20 years of rheumatoid arthritis. That's quite awesome. Yeah, Teesside, good news today about Danny. Hopefully he gets a result, and you know, his own journey is you know, a thing to watch. He admits he's past, he admits he's been a bad boy in the past, and you know, he's hurt loved ones and he's hurt people around him, and he's coming good. He's on the journey, regardless of what anybody says. He's on the journey. Selena, I wouldn't know how to link the James English podcast into this. Maybe you could help me with that, Selena. I don't know how to do it, and I'm crap with stuff like that. People say, oh yeah, you do this and you add a link, and I go, a link to what? I'm oblivious. So I'm going to get off now, guys. I'm going to get my dinner. It's late and I've not eaten my dinner yet. I don't even think I've eaten my lunch, have I? Anyway, nothing new there. So yeah, there's a load of alternative therapies. There's all sorts of great stuff and great people going on just now. Opinionated Glaswegian, OG, good live. Thanks, mate. Appreciated, brother. I'll try and... Guys, sometimes I know, by the way, right? I've been told I'm quite dour. Dorothy, my good man. Hi, Dot. Positivity, yep, you better believe it. But real positivity, none of the fake bullshit, just shouting it for the sake of it. We are going to be positive, regardless of anything. Thanks, Dot. I've been told I'm quite dour, guys. I don't smile a lot. I don't smile a lot. I'm not a smiley person. I've still got all my teeth bar one. And it was a dentist that damaged it in Spain. It wasn't a punch. Nobody's been lucky enough yet to punch any of my teeth out, although I bet you a few people would like to. Good luck with that. Yeah, I've been told I'm quite dour. But I don't think I am, I just don't smile a lot. Sorry if that upsets anybody. Anyway, that's that. That's me explained that. I'm not a laughy, jokey person, although I have got a good sense of humour when I'm in the right company. You know, we had a laugh up Glencoe, I think last weekend or the weekend before. We had a great laugh. Me and Luca in motorsports, we had a great banter. But I'm just not a smiley person. I don't walk about with a big cheesy smile on my face. But that's that. So, yeah, Teesside, thanks for saying you could sit round a fire with me for hours and listen to me. You'd probably end up nudging me into the fire, mate. I'm pretty sure you get bored eventually, brother. I've got some interesting stories to tell. I've had an interesting life. I was in the Royal Marines. I've been in the oil industry. I've worked in various countries, Middle East, Africa, you know, the Norwegian sector, Holland. We have interesting stories to tell. We'll get to those stories. I maybe have to water a few of them down. But I'm fairly honest, so we'll get there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go and get something to eat. Because I won't show the brand name, but I drink too much of this stuff. I won't advertise because this is the enemy. It was all I could find in a certain area. So, thanks for listening. Appreciate it. The numbers are up from last night. I'm very grateful for that. Deco is a good bloke, you're right. I was on the phone to him an hour ago. He's a good lad. His heart's in the right place. No matter what he gets up to on YouTube, his heart's in the right place. He's a good boy. Big shout out to Motorsports and Buggies. Right, guys, I appreciate it. So cheers. I will enjoy my scran, Charlie. All the best, mate. Talk soon. Thank you very much and good night, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you.